Hey, welcome to News You Can Use. I'm your host, BG. Everyone knows Black History Month is in February. But why is it that we only celebrate and teach Black history for 1 month and the shortest month of the damn year? It's a problem Canada needs to fix, and one the country's Minister of Diversity and Inclusion has his eyes set on. But before we get into those details, I do need you to do a few things like subscribing to our channel, tapping that notification bell, and make sure to follow us on all of our social media. Those details are in the description below. So, Minister Ahmed Hussen is Canada's Minister of Housing, Diversity, and Inclusion. He's actually made history himself by being only the second Black man to hold a federal cabinet position. Minister Hussen sat down with me to talk about how the education system across Canada needs to do a better job teaching a full reflection on Canada's diverse history. Let's bring him in. Minister of Housing and Diversity and Inclusion, Ahmed Hussen, thank you so much for joining us on News You Can Use.
Thank you so much for having me once again on your show. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man. You have a lot of things under your portfolio, but I also just want to start off by saying Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month to you as well. And this year's theme is a really good theme. It's February and Forever. It is in recognition of the fact that the story of Black Canadians, which has been part of Canada's story for over 400 years, cannot be limited to 1 month. It transcends February. Black Canadian contributions, excellence, and history. There's still a lot of ground to be covered, I think, and a lot of people still don't know how long and how deep and how diverse that history is from coast to coast to coast. Look at someone like Viola Desmond.
Yeah?
I didn't find out about Viola Desmond's story until much later in my life. I didn't hear about her or learn about her or read about her in high school. I didn't read about her in undergraduate studies, and I took Canadian history. So obviously you would think that they would extensively cover African Canadians, particularly African Nova Scotians, but there was nothing. And she precedes Rosa Parks by 9 years. So I always like to say that Rosa Parks is United States Viola Desmond.
As Minister of Diversity and Inclusion, we know and we've spoken with the Ontario Black History Society, and they want to see, Black history embedded within the curriculum of all the provincial education sectors. Is that something that can be mandated? Is that something you would want to see?
So it wouldn't be able to be mandated, so to speak, by the federal government, because education is within the jurisdiction of the provincial government. But it is something that I would support and that I would advocate for. But it would take partnership and collaboration and leadership, quite frankly. I think we need to do more, absolutely, especially for our young people, to encourage them to expand their horizons beyond Ontario. I think a lot of folks know about the Underground Railroad, which is really important, and we need to keep teaching that. But there's other kinds of migration patterns. In Saskatchewan, there's a group of farmers who just picked up from the United States and came to Saskatoon. I never thought that was something that actually happened, right? And now I know. So I think we just need to press that point home with the authorities that are responsible for the education system of all our kids. And I think all children need to learn that, not just Black Canadian children. One of my first trips as immigration minister was to Preston and to Africville and to the African Canadian Cultural Center in Preston.
Minister, sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like that's a trip that should be a requirement for every single grade 8 or grade 9 class in this country. Because
yes.
I visited that place myself, and
it's amazing,
it is
isn't it?
astonishing and amazing, and it gives you goosebumps.
Yeah.
And it really shows and highlights the long-lasting history that
Absolutely.
Black people have in this country.
There's a recent study that proved conclusively that young people who go on cultural trips, who are exposed to different cultures and different people, tend to later in life become much more inclusive in their careers and in their personal life, and they tend to be more open to others and be more broad-minded.
I've been a big proponent of reminding people that while there is a lot of Black suffering and Black trauma tied to Black identity, there is still a lot of Black joy that should be highlighted.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Black excellence.
And Black excellence. You are part of Black history yourself. I mean, there haven't been many Black men as federal cabinet ministers.
Lincoln was the first. He's my hero, obviously, and I'm following in his footsteps and standing on his shoulder.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love to ask you. I mean, what does that feel like to know that you are basically writing history? You are going to be in the next generation of textbooks.
Well, I would say, first of all, it's a huge responsibility. I feel that I'm here to use my voice to make the necessary changes that include everyone, right? I can tell you for a fact that my being here improves the conversation, provides an additional perspective, and is a voice for a number of segments of our population, in addition to my regular job, obviously representing everyone. And that's
when
why
you're talking about addition to the conversation, you're talking about when you're sitting at the cabinet table,
whether it is at the
potential
cabinet table,
legislation or directives,
that's right.
that you're looking at it and you're advocating for Black Canadians. This is what you're talking about.
Or just providing that perspective. And I'm not the only one. I mean, now we thankfully we have a Black caucus, right? We didn't have that. And that has also made a difference in terms of how our government approaches certain issues, how we respond to certain things. I think true progress will be when I'm not the second. Right now, it's Lincoln and then myself, right? And Jean Augustine. I think true progress is when you and I will hopefully sooner rather than later get together for coffee and say, wow, we have the 10th Black Canadian minister and the 20th Black Canadian minister. Now we're in the single digits, right? Even for MPs, we need more. We need more. One of the things that I always highlight to community members is that they have to be engaged. That you have to be engaged at the municipal level, at the provincial level, at the federal level on the issues that matter to you. You don't have to support my political party. You can, as long as you're engaged in the system, as long as you're out there making a change and getting your voice heard. And the first and foremost way to do that is to vote, and then be engaged in between elections.
Minister Hussen, I thank you for coming on, especially during this month, because it's an important conversation and we want to keep the conversation going. And I'm glad that you're updating us on the efforts to try to ensure that more Canadians are going to learn about Black history. But I also want to ask you if we can also set another time
so we can talk about housing,
because
I have some stuff I want to get talk to you about housing, because it is such a big thing, and wealth generation is a huge part of ensuring that communities of color excel.
For sure.
Minister Ahmed Hussen, thank you so much for joining us on News You Can Use. Happy Black History Month, and we will chat soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel, and listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.